Alright guys, let's talk about Machiavelli. This book is over 500 years old, but it's still relevant today. It's like a guidebook for understanding power, ambition, and how to navigate the world. Every man should read this book. Seriously. We all know life can be a competition. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or just trying to get ahead, we're constantly dealing with other people and their agendas. Machiavelli gets that. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He lays it out raw and real. Isn't about being a nice guy. It's about being smart, strategic, and understanding the rules of the game. It's about knowing when to hold 'em and knowing when to fold 'em, you know? Machiavelli gives you the tools to make better decisions, even when the stakes are high. This isn't some dusty old textbook. It's a manual for understanding human nature at its core. And trust me, the insights you gain from will give you an edge in all areas of your life. One of the coolest things about is how it teaches you to think strategically. Machiavelli was all about understanding your opponent, anticipating their moves, and then using that knowledge to your advantage. It's like chess, but for real life. He talks about the importance of being adaptable. The world is constantly changing, so you can't be stuck in your ways. You gotta be able to adjust your game plan on the fly. Be like water, my friends. Machiavelli also stresses the importance of building a strong foundation of power. This doesn't necessarily mean being a dictator. It's about having influence, respect, and the ability to get things done. It's about being a leader. Think about it. The guys who rise to the top, they're not always the nicest dudes in the room. They're often the ones who are willing to make tough decisions, take calculated risks, and play the long game. That's pure Machiavelli. Now some of you might be thinking, Joe, this Machiavelli guy sounds kinda ruthless. I'm not trying to be a tyrant. Listen, I hear you, but here's the thing. You don't have to be a king to benefit from. Think about your job. You've got deadlines, coworkers, and a boss to answer to. Understanding office politics, knowing when to speak up and when to keep your mouth shut. That's all Machiavelli. Relationships? Same deal. Knowing what you want, setting boundaries, and not letting people walk all over you, that's straight out of. It's about being assertive and knowing your worth. Even something as simple as negotiating a better price on a car. You gotta know what you're willing to pay, what they're willing to accept, and how to find that sweet spot in the middle. Machiavelli would be proud. The point is, the principles can be applied to any situation where you're dealing with other people. It's about understanding the dynamics of power and using that knowledge to get what you want. So why does a book written in the 1500s still resonate today? Because human nature hasn't changed that much. We're still driven by the same desires for power, security, and success. Think about the world we live in. Politics is a blood sport, businesses are constantly competing, and social media is a game of likes and followers. It's more Machiavellian than ever. We see his ideas reflected in everything from business negotiations to international relations. The guys at the top, the ones calling the shots, you better believe they've read. They understand the rules of the game. The thing is, knowledge is power, and gives you that knowledge. It allows you to see through the BS, to understand the motivations behind people's actions and to make smarter decisions. Don't just take my word for it. Here are some of Machiavelli's greatest hits, quotes that'll stick with you. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Harsh, but true. Respect goes a long way. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. Sometimes being cunning is better than brute force. The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Surround yourself with winners. There is no other way to guard yourself from flattery than by making men understand that telling you the truth will not offend you. Keep it real, guys. These quotes, they make you think, right? That's the power of Machiavelli. He forces you to confront the realities of the world and to think differently about how you navigate it. Look, I'm not saying you gotta become some ruthless dictator after reading, but I am saying that understanding Machiavelli's ideas can make you a more strategic, more effective, and ultimately more successful man. It's about leveling up your game, understanding the rules of the world, and using that knowledge to achieve your goals. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, even if that means getting a little uncomfortable sometimes. So, do yourself a favor. Pick up a copy of, read it with an open mind, and then go out there and conquer the world. Or at least conquer your day. You got this.